So we're just about 5 after. We'll go ahead and start. My name is Cole Simcoe. I am a communications associate at Making Sense. I also work on the USAID YP2LE project and for YouthPower 2 and YouthLead. I'm going to go ahead and help you guys and walk through the webinar today. Just a little bit of background information and agenda and housekeeping. We'll be doing a little bit of introductions, who's on the webinar today, backgrounds of some of the people that you'll meet. We'll talk a little bit about the YouthLead platform for those that are unfamiliar with it. And we'll then move to information about the RISE program. We'll talk about how to get involved, what it looks like, the time frame, what the app looks like, and kind of what we're looking for the RISE program. We'll have some chance to do Q&A at the end, and then we'll share out some resources, links, those types of things. And we'll be wrapping up right about 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll go ahead and turn it over to our speakers this morning. If we've got Jody, Josh, Sarah, and Ephraim on this morning. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves. Jody, let's start with you.
Good morning, depending on where you are, or good afternoon, or potentially good evening, everybody. I am Jody Lowe, the program administrator for RISE. I am based out here in very cold New York City. I've been working on RISE for about 6 months now, and it has been so much fun. Prior to working on RISE, I worked in the New York City public school system for 2 years.
Thank you, Jody. And I'll take the liberty of going next. I am calling you from sunny South Africa. I'm here in Cape Town. My name is Joshua. I'm an associate with Schmidt Futures, prior to which I was working at the Rhodes Trust as an associate there in building out RISE as it was thought out in the middle of 2019 and then launched in November of 2019. And I've happily been working between our two organizations and delivering something that we think is both world-changing and a project that will bring a lot of opportunity, happiness and light during a particularly dark time in the world's history. I'm very happy to be here with you today. Very happy to see fellow South Africans and Southern Africans and Sub-Saharan Africans online too. And I'm thankful to our partners at Making Sense and YouthLead for making this happen. Over to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to see so many familiar faces coming from the YouthLead network. My name is Sarah Sladen, and I direct the Youth Economic Opportunities Network at Making Sense International. And I'm also the Senior Youth Engagement Advisor for YouthPower 2, and I support YouthLead. Really thrilled to have RISE and Schmidt Futures as a partner and here today to share more about this exciting opportunity. One of the goals of YouthLead is to provide young people, young leaders around the world with resources and opportunities and information about how you can continue to grow as young professionals and pursue opportunities. So very grateful to the team for joining us today to share more about the RISE Scholarship and how you can take advantage of this opportunity. I'll turn it over to Ephraim next.
Thank you, Sarah. My name is Ephraim Bakala. I am a YouthLead Fellow at Making Sense International. I currently work on YP2LE projects, and my main job is to engage more young people to the YouthLead site and also coordinate our very amazing program, which is YouthLead Ambassadorship Program. And with this, I work closely with Sarah, and currently I'm located in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and very excited to be here today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Sarah and Ephraim to give everybody a little bit of background for those of you who do not know about YouthLead, kind of what YouthLead is, the opportunities that are there, and how you can sign up to join YouthLead. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Sarah.
Thanks, Cole. So I know that many of you are already familiar with youthlead.org, the platform that you engage with as members. But YouthLead is part of a larger project. And so before we dive in, I wanted to give you a little bit more of a background about what YouthPower is. We talk about YouthPower a lot, YouthPower 2. So just to give you some more information about what supports YouthLead, YouthPower is a USAID funding mechanism. That means that it is a pool of resources that the United States Agency for International Development provides to support youth-focused projects, evaluation, and research. YouthPower 2, or YP2LE, is a USAID-funded project with the goal to generate knowledge, promote learning, and more information about positive youth development, or PYD. Now, positive youth development is the idea that all young people are assets in their societies. And that means that young people have agency and the ability to lead. And so what's needed is access to resources, investment in young people's agencies, and supportive environments that help promote opportunities for youth to lead and to grow and to pursue professional opportunities. So to do that, we have two websites that support these activities and information. One is youthpower.org. This is a platform for international implementers or NGOs or organizations that support youth programs and youth serving organizations. And then the second is the one that you know, which is YouthLead.org. And this is a platform dedicated specifically to young changemakers like you from around the world, where you can find resources, information, funding opportunities, and other chances like today to learn more about scholarships and other initiatives that are relevant to your work. Next slide. So just remind you, YouthLead's vision is to serve as a global hub for young changemakers to maximize your impact through networking, peer advising, and access to information. This platform was launched in 2018 at the World Bank Youth Summit. In the last year alone, in 2020, we went from 7,000 members to over 11,000 members globally from over 100 countries. So we've seen a really exciting growth trajectory for the platform just in the last year alone. But like I said, the platform offers a lot of different kinds of resources. Among some of the changes coming up in 2021, in addition to the information that's already on the platform, we're also going to develop a new mentorship initiative. This is going to be a page on the YouthLead platform that is specifically dedicated to providing information to all of you about mentorship, how to find mentors, how to cultivate mentor relationships, and how to be a mentor. There'll be an opportunity to connect both with peer mentors, so young people like you, maybe other young entrepreneurs who are working in your space, to connect, share ideas, problem solve. We'll also create a network where you can connect with older mentors or adult mentors who are already established in their fields. We'll also provide learning opportunities and training specifically around mentorship. So really excited to get that going. We're targeting March of this year to launch the page, but we'll be sharing more information about the mentorship initiative in the coming months. So stay tuned on that for the YouthLead platform. Next slide, Cole. So just a reminder, what does YouthLead offer all of you? It's a way to get connected, first and foremost. So everyone who is on the platform has the opportunity to create a profile and start to network with your peers. And Ephraim's going to share more about how you do that on the platform. But the biggest thing is to be part of a global network of other young changemakers like you who are working to have a positive change, positive impact in your communities at home. Another opportunity on the platform is to get access to information and resources. So if you're looking for information specific to your work in perhaps climate, in gender-based violence, in democracy and human rights, in entrepreneurship, there's something for everyone, and we continually update the website with resources specifically for young leaders so you can find what you're looking for. We also use it as a place to share events from around the world. So our partners share events that are coming up relevant to youth. We put our events like today's up online. It's a place where you can come and find ways to get engaged and active. And particularly this year and last year, we're all online, we're all engaging virtually. We're always looking for ways for you to stay connected and to feel part of a larger community, even if we can't be together. Another key focus for us is providing opportunities where you can find information about funding. We know you're trying to find funding for your programs, for your businesses, for your startups, maybe scholarships like today's with RISE. There's also information about projects. So many of you are in your own right leading businesses, leading initiatives. This is a way for you to share information about the work that you're doing, as well as to share information about other projects that might be relevant to your work. And lastly, it's a space where you can actually engage online in real-time discussions. You can start a discussion thread when you create your member profile to connect, to network, to brainstorm with other young people on the platform. So again, it's The purpose of YouthLead is to create a global hub where all of you can come together to network and connect, and really focus on strengthening your skills and creating new opportunities by being part of a global community. Next slide. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Ephraim. Ephraim is a key member of our YouthLead team. He's also a point person for our YouthLead ambassadors and for our youth advisory group, and an expert on our platform. So Ephraim's going to walk through a little bit about how you can create your profile on YouthLead. Ephraim, over to you.
Thanks, Sarah. So our website, it's youthlead.org. I think we've mentioned this on the chat box. So by joining YouthLead network or website, you can access privileges of membership, privileges of posting resources, accessing events, and also you have a privilege to upload your own events or resources or projects. So if you are not a member to the site, you can still go to the site and browse through different resources, but you cannot get the access to connect with other members. So we encourage you to be a member at the same time. And currently the navigation and tagging option are available only in English and Spanish, but good news, Arabic and French language are also coming soon. But also you can use Google Translate to get a translation of using any language on any of the YouthLead pages. Next slide, please. Thank you. So you have options to browse between projects, funding, events, resources on YouthLead page. So YouthLead has different pages. For example, project is one thing, and also there are funding resources on the other page. Whenever you browse across those pages, you'll find these resources. And if you are a member, like I mentioned before, you can have options to upload different resources. For example, it could be a toolkit that you are working right now, and you want to share this for the rest of more than 11,000 members. You can go to the resource page and you can upload that in order to share with other people. And also projects. If you are working on some project right now and want to share that, you can also upload that by being a member to the YouthLead platform. Whenever you post or upload something on the site, there is a field with an asterisk, which means it's a very mandatory to put information on that asterisk, under that asterisk. But also we invite you to add more information so that your profile will be 100% and you can get different badges, different more resources, and also more connection with more than 11,000 members of the site. Next slide, please. So you are, let's say you are a member of YouthLead.org and you want to update your profile. This year you are graduated with something, so you can go to your profile anytime. You can log in with your password. Usually it takes 2 days to get approval of membership. Once you get approval of membership through the email that you provided before, then you can go to your profile and edit and update any new changes that you have as a professional or expert or as a young person. The other good news is that the platform is very youth-friendly, so you can invite more young people, friends, or other colleagues to the platform so that you can send them an invitation. You can connect them on the site also. There are also different tools, for example, groups. You can create groups and have a common discussion about some of the burning issues about young people. So whenever you want to check your profile status, you log into your profile, then you can check your profile status and also update it. With that, I'll give it to Sarah. Thank you.
Thanks, Ephraim. All right, so I would love to turn it back over to our team with Schmidt Futures and Rise, and I'm really pleased to welcome Joshua Knott. Josh is going to kick it off and share more about the Rise Scholarship. Josh, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah and Ephraim and Cole. I think it would be remiss of me not to mention how it seems that you are far ahead of the curve insofar as it's creating a digital platform for people to interact with one another, act as multipliers, and make change in their communities or countries. And I think that the pandemic has only proven that. So kudos to the work that you've done and the work you'll continue to do to create this multiplying effect. And it's something that we hope we can do with Rise. Thank you for having us. I'm going to kick off with a sort of a very simple and rather rudimentary one slide. I'm rather going to speak to you as opposed to take you through a protracted slideshow. My colleague Jody would give you a more in-depth and a technical assessment of RISE, and it's for me to speak to a few things. Firstly, as to, you know, who is RISE as an organization? What makes RISE different, which is the slide currently on show, and why 15 to 17-year-olds as our target audience. Now, I imagine that there are many on this call that indeed are leading their own organizations, that are involved directly in education initiatives, or are engaged with stakeholders that are particularly important to RISE, whether that's teachers, parents, mothers, fathers, or indeed 15 to 17-year-olds themselves. But perhaps let's start here, and that is who makes up RISE. RISE is the anchor initiative of Eric and Wendy Schmidt's $1 billion commitment to talent development. Eric was the former CEO of Alphabet and founded Schmidt Futures, one of the founding partners of RISE, along with the Rhodes Trust. Now, Schmidt Futures bets early on exceptional people to make the world better. We have 4 focus areas. One of them is scientific knowledge, where we shape the future of scientific research worldwide through the infusion of new technologies and empowering the next generation of leaders. Technology and society, where we harness the power of science and technology to solve some of the toughest societal challenges. Shared prosperity, which involves strengthening and expanding the American middle class in order to increase competitiveness and improve quality of life. And talent, which is betting early on the world's most talented people and empowering them to solve the world's most pressing problems. And it's within this talent division of Schmidt Futures where RISE is neatly housed. The second founding partner is the Rhodes Trust, and the Rhodes Trust brings together exceptional people from around the world in all fields of study who are impatient with the way things are and that have the courage to act, providing scholarship opportunities to young people between the ages of 22 to 26 at the University of Oxford for postgraduate study, and largely considered the preeminent scholarship program. With Schmidt Futures and the Rhodes Trust, we have 2 organizations that are committed to both finding exceptional young people as well as supporting those young people throughout their lives. And I think that this is what makes RISE different. You know, RISE is for life. For any 15 to 17-year-old selected as a winner, RISE will support that young person, whether it's graduating from secondary or tertiary education, through to supporting their social enterprise. And RISE will be with them every step of the way, whether it's providing mentorship and career guidance services or hosting 15 to 17-year-olds who are selected as winners in a part of the world where they can come together for a residential summit, of course, COVID permitting. RISE is there to help support those young people such that they can use their talents in the service of others. And that is the second point, which is that we are looking for young people who display these characteristics of brilliance, perseverance, and integrity. You know, these are young people that will display real potential as well as proven talents, intellectual and otherwise, with a simultaneous commitment to serving the communities from which they're from. And RISE is a global community, much like YouthLead is a community of changemakers. RISE is a global community of talented peers from around the world that can access our online platform via our partners at Hello World, whom Sal Khan of the Khan Academy is the chairperson. Young people can access this mobile platform, which has been designed to work in constrained environments where there are limits to connectivity, as well as not widespread access to the latest smartphones. Hello World is designed to work on semi-smart and feature phones, in providing not just a selection mechanism for choosing Rise's 100 winners, but also as an opportunities board. And I think this is really exciting. It's a place where young people can demonstrate their passions, their talents, where they can interact with one another, where they can respond to challenges with prompts that we would present to them on the mobile platform, and they could provide solutions to challenges in their community while engaging in peer review and peer feedback. And this is a mechanism that we are particularly proud of, and that we hope that young people will engage with and from. And on this platform, Rise is but one opportunity present. There are multiple other scholarship opportunities, online courses that young people can apply to and learn from, as well as we would invite organizations to host similar types of opportunities on our platform, such that we can create and continue to create this multiplying effect. So I think the next question would be, before I hand on to my colleague, would be why 15 to 17-year-olds? Why this age group? Well, we know that 15 to 17 is an inflection point in many young people's lives. And this is supported by data and our experiences with young people in the development of Rise. And that is that young people are thinking about what are they going to do after high school, if they are in a secondary education. They're at an intellectual turning point in their lives, where they are learning a lot of new content, as well as thinking about, quite critically, their community and their place in the world. And Rise will hopefully harness this inflection point such that it can inform the trajectory of those young people's lives by providing them with adequate and sufficient support. So really, Rise looks to having a successful first and inaugural year. We continue to work with our partners from around the world. We currently have 160 different nationalities represented in our application process. So we don't have much more countries to go. And we'd welcome your support, whether it's connecting us with young people within your networks, whether it's working to provide more opportunities. We are working with our partners at Making Sense and YouthLead, and we'd look to you to engage. And I'm thankful for having this opportunity to speak to you today. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to Jody, who can walk you through the intricacies of what we've designed. Thank you very much, and over to you, Jody.
Thank you, Josh. That was awesome. So hello, everybody. Again, I am going to give you a kind of shallow dive into what the Rise application process is like, talk about Hello World platform, and what we're really looking for in applicants. Next slide, please. So applying to Rise is not just about filling out another application for a program or youth opportunity. When the team was thinking about designing an application, we really wanted to create a platform where young people could use the power of technology that we know is so common in their everyday lives to apply to a global program in a really non-traditional way. We know that test scores and grades don't always tell the full picture of a young person's talent. And we also know that there's a lot of issues with access to opportunity for these young people. So we decided that there are no grades or test scores required to apply to Rise. There are actually no teacher or adult recommendations. All you do is download the Hello World Rise app. So when you first download the app, which could be found at the Google Play Store or the iOS Apple Store, the first opportunity you're going to see is Rise. You will then go into the opportunity and fill out your Hello World profile. You'll put in personal information, contact information, some information about where you went to school, education, family. And this is just so we get a really good sense of, your background, where you're coming from, and your experiences. Once those are complete, all you have to do is upload a video for 1 to 2 minutes answering 3 prompts. So here in this slide, it has one of the sample prompts that we have, show us your passion. So the prompt asks, what's one problem that you are going to try and use your life to solve? All you have to do is hit start the challenge, record a selfie video, and answer the question. It's literally that simple. There are 2 other prompts, and then you're done. Your application is actually done. It actually takes about like 20 or 30 minutes, but no longer. Also, you can also see other applicants' responses. So if you go into the app and you want to get a sense of how other applicants are responding, you can watch their videos and get ideas. If you also watch a video after uploading yours and you're like, oh, I think I could have answered it better, or I could have said that instead of that, we absolutely recommend and welcome you, re-uploading your video. That is really the first part of the RISE application. So within that, we also have an expert learning library that you can use to level up your skills. So these expert lessons just allow you to think about, the ways in which you can develop your professional skills. So next slide, please. Yes. So for instance, here we have Angela Duckworth, a famous psychologist, and Brian Grazer, a famous movie producer. And here Angela Duckworth talks about grit, and Brian Grazer talks about curiosity conversation. So these lessons give you advice on how to improve and strengthen your professional development skills, and each lesson actually has an activity attached. So it's not just you filling out the first part of the RISE application, you can go in and do these really fun challenge activities. So essentially what you do is you watch the video. So for Angela Duckworth, she gives an expert lesson talking about 3 tips on how to have passion and perseverance when you're setting those really long-term goals and why it's important to have those traits. After, you can record a video talking about a time when her ideas of grit and perseverance and having passion helped you overcome, a difficult obstacle. You can also go into the app and see other applicant responses and how they, responded to the prompt and get some ideas for how they would do this activity. So these RISE expert lessons are really important because they actually help you with the second part of the RISE application, which I'm going to get into. So the first part of the RISE application is due January 29th. But the second part, which is my favorite part, opens in early February, and that's called the RISE Challenge. So the RISE Challenge is where applicants can either show us a service project that they've been working on or showcase a special talent of theirs that they have been using to improve their community. Also, if applicants don't have a particular project in mind or something that they're already working on, this is where the expert lessons come in handy because there are going to be more expert lessons that we'll be releasing shortly that will allow applicants who don't already have an idea to get some ideas. So over the course of several weeks, applicants will be able to show us the projects that they've been working on and can keep us updated by recording videos and showing us their progress. You also get to see what other projects applicants are working on and get inspiration. So in terms of projects can really, range in a wide variety of interests. For instance, it could be a community art project where you paint a mural honoring a social justice cause you care about, or you can demonstrate a talent for cooking if you have a talent for cooking, and if you cook to provide meals to those in your community who don't actually have food. It really doesn't matter what it is, we just want to see your passion. So one of the big things that RISE is looking for, that Josh said in applicants, is applicants that are, have perseverance and passion to make change in the world, integrity and empathy. And we really know that test scores and grades don't always show the same picture. So we really want to emphasize if you are that young person or that young person who has those amazing character traits, to really encourage them to apply to RISE. So in summary, the RISE application is in 2 parts and it is entirely free to apply. The first part of the application takes no more than 30 minutes to complete, and all you have to do is upload 3 selfie videos responding to the prompts. Next slide, please. Oh, perfect. Each year, RISE will select 100 global winners between the ages of 15 to 17 from around the world who will receive a lifetime of benefits. But even if you are not part of the 100 winners, you will also have the opportunity to develop your professional skills from these RISE expert lesson videos that we will be adding to, meet other young people from around the world by joining a global community, and have access to additional opportunities from our partners that will also be displayed on the app as well. We also launched about right before the holiday break, a WhatsApp pathway to ensure that there are more options for applicants who don't have enough access to the internet or technology. So we're really excited about that. And the process is quite simple, and the WhatsApp application pathway really talks you through how to apply, but it's quite simple and almost parallel to the app experience itself.
All right, thanks so much, Jody and Josh, and Ephraim and Sarah. What I'd like to do now is kind of open up to Q&A for anyone here. I know we had one question already in the chat that maybe we can turn to first. And then it looks like we have a few questions about mentorship and just some other scholarships on the app. So I guess for the RISE team, one of the questions we had here is, I'm too old to apply for the scholarship. How can I help other young people in my community learn about the opportunity and why they should apply? Is there a way for me to serve as a mentor to young people applying to the RISE program? So turn that over to Jody and Josh.
I'm happy to tackle the second part of that question, which is mentorship and career services. And I've received a couple of direct messages about this particular point, so thank you to each of you. And I'll let Jody speak to how you can hear about RISE as our communications wizard. So to the point of mentoring and career support, many of you here have career guidance and mentoring expertise of which you've honed in your communities. And I am sure that you have many young people that you know of between the ages of 15 to 17 through your networks, both direct and indirect. We would welcome your emails in formal requests to be a mentor for RISE winners when they are selected, or to the finalists. I think most immediately what you can do is to assist us in encouraging those young people to apply for RISE via our nomination mechanism. And I'll let Jody speak to that nomination mechanism in a bit as she speaks to how we can get the word out about RISE. But as it relates to mentorship services and career services, both to our winners, our finalists, and to perhaps those young people in your community, now I would welcome formal requests, and I'll share the email address that you can reach us by now in chat. Over to Jody to speak to the communications, how to learn more about RISE, as well as the nomination mechanism.
Yes, happy to. So all of our RISE social media is RISE for the World. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you are interested, or just like know a young person or are a young person and you want to give them more information, if you just tag RISE for the World, you can follow us on all of the social media. We constantly update and have new material and updated information about what RISE winners get, the benefits of applying, the RISE global community, etc. We also have risefortheworld.org, which is our general website that also provides similar information. So to quickly speak about the nomination process that Josh talked about, it's actually quite simple. And we created a shortcut for you all on this webinar to make it easier for you to recommend young people. So Making Sense has a unique nomination link that they can drop in the chat. And if you just copy and paste that unique nomination link and send it to a young person, it actually takes them directly to the app to download the app. But if they are actually on a desktop, it'll take them to our website and give them the instructions to apply. Either way, it's actually super simple, and you just click on the link and it goes right to the app to start the application.
Thank you so much, Jody and Josh. It seems like we've got a couple of other questions here in the chat. One of which is, how are the applications selected? If there are more than 100 qualified applicants, is it a random process of selection? And I think adding to that is this, maybe to underline, is this selection done annually, or how is this program run through the selection process?
Yeah, I'm happy to start answering that. And Josh, if you want to jump in. So essentially, the RISE selection process is a combination of artificial intelligence and expert review. So we have worked with Hello World team that Josh talked about, and they have created an excellent mechanism to ensure that artificial intelligence is selecting applicants based on the character traits and not based on additional things that would potentially hinder an applicant from being selected. We also have expert reviewers who are both knowledge-based and developmental-based, who have experience working with the 15 to 17-year-old age group regionally, and they will also help with selection. So essentially there will be 500 finalists who will have group virtual interviews, and from there we will select down to the final 100. However, if you are between the ages of 15 to 17 and want to reapply, we actually really encourage you and welcome you to reapply, because we know that there's tons of growth, and so you may develop on the project that you were already working on when you first started the RISE challenge and want to come back and show us. So we definitely welcome that.
I would add that, and I think it is to the question of what happens if we have more than 100 qualified applicants. In addition to the fact that you can apply again if we find ourselves in a position where we are making difficult choices, there is always next year for those young people who fall within that age bracket. There would be mechanisms by which we could ensure that we have duly selected those young people who are deserving and qualifying for RISE as a winner. Beyond that, RISE is not just about the 100 winners. As Jody has described, Hello World is a place where there are multiple opportunities for you not just to apply for, but also to improve your learning, whether it's the expert library that Jody spoke to, or whether it's just a place for you to engage in peer review, which is, we know, pedagogically an important and useful way for young people to learn and to interact with one another. It's also a space for young people to express themselves, to talk about solutions they think they have to problems that we are all facing. So in that way, it is beneficial beyond the winners. Not to mention that the finalists will have a host of resources and value adds that they can tap into beyond that of applicants, such that at every phase, RISE young people, whether they're applicants, winners, or finalists, have something to gain. Also understanding that RISE is for life. These young people may apply. It's not like they're going to fall off our radar once they've completed their application. And RISE is not just a life insofar as the values that we could give them is concerned and the resources, but also the fact that we are selecting annually. This is our inaugural RISE cohort, but this is not going to stop anytime soon. Thanks to the generosity of Eric and Wendy Schmidt, we hope to continue to accept RISE winners into the distant future.
Thank you so much, Josh and Jody, again. So I have a couple questions in here. I think they kind of go together, so I'll kind of package them together. One is more so surrounding the video applications for the initial application to RISE. And they're asking if it's better to deliver a well-prepared speech, something that's researched for the video, or is it something that's more off the cuff that you just would jump right into? And I'm going to kind of piggyback onto that question is what are the traits you mentioned brilliance, integrity, and perseverance. But what are the traits that are really you're looking that the youth should be demonstrating in their application, and any kind of specific advice on how to best show these traits through this application process?
Yeah, so in response to, how to upload your video or what it should entail is it really does not have to be polished. You can definitely re-record, which we encourage, but it does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly filmed. We just want to see you and what your passions are and how you talk about them. That's all that's really important to us.
My advice, beyond not needing to be polished, is to be authentic, respond to the prompts authentically, understanding that, again, we aren't looking for a movie production video. We are looking for an insight into who you are, what you're about, your talents. And if our selection criteria speak to you, if you are committed to serving others, if you're talented and brilliant, which we expect all of our applicants to be, and we're sure you are, apply, and engage with the full resources that we have on offer beyond those expert videos, knowing that you'll become part of a broader RISE community and learn from people from all over the world in doing so, at least 160 different countries. And we know many of us are locked up at home with not much to do. This is a great place for you to express yourself, express your ideas, and to engage with other people by reviewing them and by being reviewed. It's a fun and exciting process. And I know Jody and I will be reviewing each other soon.
Thank you, guys. I mean, we've already touched on this a little bit, but I think it would be nice to speak about again. There's a question about just the ongoing opportunities that the RISE platform offers to youth that are signing up onto the platform. And we talked a little bit about the expert videos that they're able to access, and that more of those will be coming, and kind of learning from each other and other people on the platform. Is there anything else any other opportunities that you foresee in the coming future on RISE that people should be looking out for?
Most definitely. Young people can look out for more experts videos within the library where they can learn about new topics and respond to the prompts that our experts share. We have very many coming that are super exciting and that young people can look forward to, both to learning from and also engaging with. Also, the opportunities are being published almost every month, both scholarships, sort of funding opportunities, opportunities to take, paid for online courses via the various partners that we have. So young people can expect more to come from the platform itself, as well as more to come from RISE's application process. Understanding that we've just completed stage 1 of our applications. Stage 2 will involve more engaging selection mechanisms that aren't just a selection mechanism in the traditional sense, but involve you as a young person gaining and learning more from. Jody, did I miss anything? Is there any more opportunities beyond the experts that we will have soon, and the opportunities, whether they're scholarship programs or online learning materials that our applicants can get excited for?
I think you've covered it beautifully. I'm very excited about the new expert lessons that are coming out. There are some really awesome and exciting and cool people. So definitely stay tuned for that. And just to reiterate Josh's point, there are going to be, we're constantly adding to the opportunities within the Hello World platform that, again, involve scholarships, free online learning resources that otherwise would not have been free. We're also always open to ideas. If any of you in the audience have any ideas of, great opportunities that could also be featured on the app, we would love to chat about that as well. We want to make sure that, the Hello World RISE app is just beyond RISE. beyond the RISE opportunity and ensuring that every young person on the application has an opportunity to apply to multiple opportunities to really level up their experience and enhance their professional development skills.
Awesome, thank you so much. I had one more question coming in from Facebook Live. That was, how long do the videos have to be for the application process?
For the first part, no more than 2 minutes. So super quick. And to answer them, it shouldn't take too long either.
Perfect. And then one more I had just to, I think, reiterate, we touched on this a little bit before, Jody. If you could briefly walk through how people can access the application through WhatsApp. There's some questions about where they find that link, how they join that WhatsApp, and how they can actually apply through it. You could walk through that real quickly, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you visit, and I can put this in the chat, risefortheworld.org/WhatsApp, it gives you all of the numbers depending on your region to text, and it will just automatically begin your application. And essentially, instead of uploading selfie videos, you would receive prompts and you could text your response as well. And that is as simple as that. That's how it works.
Young people can expect a traditional automated WhatsApp bot with our questions as prompts, understanding that the Hello World app and its connectivity requirements may not be as accessible for everyone as WhatsApp is. But we would encourage young people, if they can, use Hello World, to use it. If connectivity is a barrier for them or for those people in your networks, I'm speaking to the audience directly, then we'll encourage you to share those WhatsApp numbers, and I've just put the link in the chat. Thank you, Cole.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. So I don't see any more questions coming in. So if there are no more, if there are, please feel free to raise your hand or put them in the chat box. Oh, it looks like we've got some more. Okay. A lot of thank yous. So what I'll do is turn it over and say thank you guys so much. If we can bring everyone back on to say goodbye. I will go ahead and post the rest of the information and the links back in the chat, but please do look for this recording and more information on YouthLead. And please visit risefortheworld.org. If anyone has any final words and wants to sign off, thank you all for joining today.
Thanks so much again to Josh and Jody and the RISE team and Schmidt Futures for joining us today and sharing more about this opportunity. I think the message that really comes across is that no matter what the outcome is of your application, this is a really important and unique opportunity to develop your professional skills, to build your profile. It's a great opportunity to learn. So every time we apply for an opportunity or pursue something, it's a chance to learn and grow. And I think that's really reflected in RISE's approach. So I hope all of you found this helpful today. As Cole shared, we will post this recording on the YouthLead website. We'll also include the links that Josh and Jody shared. If you have any questions, we'll include the information email that they provided so you can reach out directly. You can also reach out to our team at YouthLead to learn more, and if you have any problems developing your own profile on our platform. Thank you again to the team, and very excited to see this getting off the ground.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.